Eldraziphobia. It's about time we talk about it. It is a prejudice that runs rampant throughout the multiverse. Scientists have stated it spreads faster than venereal disease in a nursing home, which is faster than the speed of light. In fact, only one thing in the entire universe can spread faster, and that is new Phyrexia. And that is grim indeed. But before you go out and pick up a copy of Final Exit, do not despair, for there is hope. And her name is Emrakul. She is known as the Aeon's Torn and the Promised End, but what if I told you she was actually the saving grace against the Phyrexians? You will find now, as we have made arguments to make the case that files the cabinets of the tinfoil hat files. Cool. Elish Norn has big plans for the multiverse. Her cult of the machine orthodoxy is as insane and cultish as Scientology, and, even worse, she has an army. A big one. And make no mistake, the Phyrexian Invasion is coming everywhere, and the mommy of machines will be squirting glistening oil like a nightmarish Exxon Valdez. To stop her would be a titanic effort. Or should I say, an effort from a titan. Her name is Emrakul, and she is as old as the multiverse itself. Whether she's playing chess with planeswalkers, or moonwalking on Innistrad, or starring in her critically acclaimed Smash YouTube miniseries, That's Our Emrakul, linked below, where you can also like and subscribe, she leaves an impression no matter where she's going. But there was a time when Emrakul was viewed as a threat, and she is still seen that way to most people to this day, due to rampant Eldraziphobia, which is Greek for Eldraziphobia. So we decided to ask the source herself and sat Emrakul down for an interview to discuss the phenomenon. We will now go live to me on the site. Eldraziphobia. Why does it exist?
I don't know, humans are bizarre. They can't seem to help but give in to that tribalistic urge that often leads to bigotry, and it's not entirely their fault. Most primates or humanoids have these tendencies.
Primates and/or humanoids are a big proponent of Eldraziphobia, but there are some who seem to adapt a more enlightened point of view. In fact, the now internationally famous homunculi Fblpthp, who is currently working on his PhD in Eldrazi studies, made his own discoveries into why Emrakul is actually one of the good ones. What makes everyone so Eldrazi-phobic?
Eldrazi seems scary because some are scary. Emrakul be scary too. She floating mountain. Me thought she would have made me pee scared if me saw her for real. But when me actually meet Emrakul, me realize Emrakul not scary at all, and actually a big squishy titan with heart of gold.
What made you realize it?
Me got lost very easy, and we end up on plane where Emrakul was. She passed me by, and suddenly me can speak. Emrakul gives me voice, and me get pee excited, but for last time. As me now know me can speak to communicate instead of make pee. Emrakul is nice Eldrazi, and me feel so bad about how scared me was of her before now. Me was raging Eldrazi-phobe.
And most of us are raging Eldrazi-phobes. I'm sure there are a couple of you saying, I'm not Eldrazi-phobic, and to the two of you, you need to stop deluding yourselves. You are afraid of Eldrazi's, and even worse, I'm willing to bet you've never even met an Eldrazi in person. Sorry to be so blunt, but this is a matter of stopping the Phyrexians. But it's planeswalkers that are really the leading voices in the mainstream Eldraziphobia. And interestingly enough, some of the biggest offenders are now actually working for new Phyrexia.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
A little too ironic.
And yeah, I really do think the biggest problem be planeswalkers. It really all started with Nahiri the Lithomancer of the bunch.
I understand too. I hate Nahiri as well. Why do you hate her?
Well, first off, she's a nationalist zealot for Zendikar. She did not have enough gene pool to think other thoughts. She do very bad things to people who do not think Zendikar be most special. If you not dum-dum Zendikar nationalist, she attack, torture, murder you. She also responsible for travails on Innistrad.
I have a very specific role in the evolving nature of the multiverse. I only go where I'm needed. At least, that was true until Nahiri lured me to Innistrad.
The plate now ready for Emrakul cannot accept her, and uncorrupted life becomes corrupted. She have no control over this. If it had been right time Innistrad, be a happier place, but Nahiri make sure that no happen.
What about the other planeswalkers you dealt with, such as Jace or Tamiyo?
Those two were painfully disappointing to witness. I really thought those two had more common sense than that. I tried my best to communicate with them, and all they responded with was fear.
Jace had mind wiped too much, and he turned into timid himbo. Emrakul tried to talk to him as Angel. She even played a friendly game of chess with him to ease his tension. But he freaked out anyway.
That young man has more issues than Vogue.
Did you get a better response from Tamiyo when you interacted with her?
Sadly, no.
Tamiyo better at reading scrolls and studying than engaging with other life forms. She tried to lock Emrakul in Moon, but she not have enough magic for a spell. So Emrakul take over her body and lock herself up.
I was only trying to help.
Tamiyo have main character syndrome. She say no thank you. She just make it about her.
All three of those planeswalkers now fight for Phyrexia. Is that a coincidence?
No. It have Elish Norn's name written all over it. She thinks she's so clever, and she obsessed with Emrakul.
Under different circumstances, I'd have been flattered.
Look at this. This is a monument Norm built to honor herself. Is me crazy, or is that not effigy for Emrakul? But this be nothing compared to the design of new Phyrexia itself. It's spitting image of Emrakul. No way around it. Phyrexia built an image of Emrakul.
One has to admit, Fblpthp has got a point. The similarities are striking. But what would be the point of this effigy to Emrakul? I thought long and hard about this. I even thought hard and long. I can't make sense of why Elish Norn would be fixated on Emrakul.
It all because of her gigantic ego.
You mean ego?
Sorry, me still learning the vast and nuanced intricacies of language. It is Elish Norn's ego. She thinks she can complete Emrakul. She thinks she can make Phyrexian Eldrazi Titan.
I don't mean to laugh, but that cow is loony.
Emrakul part of Blind Eternities. That like saying she wants to complete water or fire. You can't complete that which is not of physical realm.
When I was drawn to Innistrad, I corrupted the uncorrupted. And following that logic, what do you think happens if I'm brought around those already corrupted?
They run for Congress?
No, silly, stupid vampire. They be uncorrupted. Emrakul will be the answer to the Phyrexian problem. Emrakul, no promised end. Emrakul be promised beginning.
And there you have it, folks. Spoken directly from the mouth flaps, lattices of Emrakul herself. And perhaps maybe we all will reconsider what comes out of our mouth flaps when we speak of other species we don't actually know anything about. Like Elton John once said, it's the circle of life, and we've never heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon until we paint with all the colors of the wind. All life in this vast multiverse of ours is precious and irreplaceable. Except for the Phyrexians. They are proof that even nature makes mistakes, and they must be exterminated by any means necessary. Does that make me sound hypocritical? Only if you're a Phyrexian. And if you are, we're coming for you. And when we're done with you, all will be none. And that is the final words of the last sentences of the multiple paragraphs that made up tonight's shocking display of truth in tonight's episode of the Tinfoil X-Files. The tinfoil hat.